everyone, just saying hi. I didn't make an intro for this video because it is a continuation part 2 from the last one, if you did not see it yet. So here we are, jumping right in to the rest of the questions. Another question is, why did I stop uploading? I made a long video on my channel that I can link below detailing everything that happened after the contest. The summary of it, I'll be as quick as I can. In September of 2011, I signed the agreement. In October of 2011, my parents decided to separate. In January of 2012, which was a couple months later, I ended up getting into this horrific car accident. I ended up having, it was a strained or sprained neck and back. So I was actually physically unable to sing or play guitar. So I was going to a chiropractor and I was doing therapy basically because I was having major issues, obviously. Then in May of 2012, we moved out of my childhood home and into a small apartment with my mom and brother. So when we moved into this apartment, when I would sing or play guitar, the neighbors would bang on the walls and tell me to shut up or to stop. It just became increasingly more difficult to not only just sing in general, but to try to make any videos singing. Also, of course, just when I was in the contest, I was cyber schooled. I had switched to cyber school my sophomore year, and I was at home, and I was living on Blog TV. If you were there during that time, I was on Blog TV every Friday night. It was the best thing ever. I loved it. I never left the house. I was just always doing something with YouTube or Blog TV or live chats or something. Then, whenever I turned, it was either 17 or 18, I got my first job. It was even in that waiting process of this potential record deal that is going to happen. I got a job, and then I was working, and that obviously takes away a lot of time from singing and from uploading. So there's the story. The other thing as well is during that time, people were not making money on YouTube yet. If I had known that that would have been a potential, I would have probably tried to make more content, because obviously I would have loved to work for YouTube instead of working for all the random part-time jobs that I was working for over the years. Also, the other struggle with being a cover artist is a lot of the monetization becomes copywritten, so that was also a thing. I do believe right whenever I had kind of stopped uploading as much, they had started monetization, but there was a copyright claim on all of my videos, so I never made money from it. Next question is, did I release any of the songs? So in Tristan's video, I talked about these 2 songs that I recorded when we were in Nashville. No, did not release any of the songs. I never got permission to release any of the songs. I never heard back from them after they were supposed to send me these CDs, which I totally forgot about until I was looking in my old emails from that last conversation that happened. Which, I mean, even at the point, and I said this in Tristan's video, I didn't want CDs of this one cover song of Miley and these 2 songs. What would I have done with CDs? I wanted to just post them to my YouTube channel. If it was just my song, I probably would upload it, but because I am not the only writer on the songs, I wrote them with the 2 other guys in Nashville, I don't have full permission or access to post them. I know some people were saying, like, just post it and see if they come after you, but I'm probably not gonna do that. I'm too much of a rule follower to just, I just won't do that. I don't know, maybe someday I'll get to share them. I do like the lyrics on them. I always was so hard on myself about my voice, which you know. Tristan even helped me with that though, because he said, hold on, you wrote and recorded 2 songs, 2 brand new songs in 2 days. That's not, it doesn't make any sense. Typically whenever people are making albums, you record them for however long you need to record them to basically perfect them. That was definitely a disadvantage I would say I had, because even though they were good songs, it was just not enough time. Where am I at? This question is kind of laughable, but someone said, why would I not accept the actual record deal? Because they were commenting on what I believe was the potential management opportunities I was being reached out to about. During the waiting of the contest, I got a couple different requests about people that wanted to manage me, but there was never a record deal invitation. It was just, hey, I would like to manage you, that type of thing, which obviously would have probably led to some sort of deal, but at that point, again, I'm still waiting for this $1 million, and they're telling me I'm gonna get it next week, so why would I not accept the actual record deal over here when this actual record deal over here, you know, it's just funny to think about. That was also kind of interesting reading some of the comments. Most of the people were so nice, I have to say that. Oh my gosh, just nicer than I could have dreamed. And I do hate that I think most people dwell on the negative comments or some of the mean things that people say, which is really awful, and I wish I could just brush it off. The people that were commenting some of the mean things are the reason that I have not shared this story, because I know that Miley's fans are hardcore, and I'm not trying to mess with them, I'm not trying to mess with her, but at the same time, it's obviously just hard because this is my story and it's something that personally happened to me. And every once in a while, I just think about, wow, this was one of the biggest things that ever happened in my life. And for Miley, it's a blip on her radar, you know, just like, oh, we're meeting the contest winner today, and then on to the next thing that they tell her to do. It's just really crazy to think about, and I wish that I don't even know if I want to say dwell on what some of the mean comments say, but care, honestly, because then I feel like I have to defend myself when I wasn't in a position, not playing or saying that I was the victim. There was a comment that I really appreciated. A lot of people's comments and their perspectives were just very interesting. But someone said that everybody in the contest, that entered the contest, that voted in the contest, was exploited to some degree, because they just said, you are all in this thinking this bigger thing is going to happen, this dream is going to happen, all these people voting for you, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to help make this girl's dream a reality, and then nothing happens. And I just appreciated that, because I was never trying to play victim, and that was also why I think I never wanted to talk about it, because I just blamed myself in different ways. So then to have to come on the defense about it, I'm like, hold on a second, why am I trying to defend me when, first of all, God is my judge and he's my defense, so there's no reason for me to be sitting here in the comments like crying to the person, trying to get them to see my side of the story. To which I say, I'm probably not going to get back onto the video and read the comments on Tristan's video, just because until I'm able to fully separate and appreciate what the good people are saying and then what the negative people are saying, I just don't think it's good for me to read what people are saying. But on here, everyone's been so nice, so I appreciate everyone. There's only one person that was spamming all this stuff, saying, it's not Miley's fault, it's not Miley's fault. And I was like, nobody here is blaming Miley. Like, please stop spamming every video. But anyways. Okay, this next one, I was trying to figure out, wait, what? Because I just wrote down compensation with a question mark, but then record deal now, question mark. So these are kind of tied together. A lot of people were commenting, which I appreciate, and they're saying, oh, she should be compensated for this, and then we need justice for her, she should get this record deal now, which makes me laugh, because I'm not trying to get a record deal now. I don't know what I would do with a record deal now. That just doesn't make sense for this season of life that I'm in. It's just not on my radar. And honestly, I did talk about this a little bit in the podcast I did with my friend. The industry in Hollywood is something that I have no desire to be a part of. I don't even know if I can say to any capacity, but I am thankful for how protected I was during that time, because I just don't think I would have made it out alive. I just don't know what would have happened, and I know that my life would be so different, and I'm just thankful for what didn't happen, even though it is a sad story, or it was my dreams, or this or that. I'm just not looking for that now. It was definitely the biggest dream of my life whenever I was 17 years old. I don't know, it's not to say that I would never not want to make an album. I have probably 300 songs in my notes, in my phone, in my voice memos on my Evernote, of just albums worth of songs. someday maybe there will come an opportunity where I could record them and do stuff with them, but I just don't see that being now, and I also don't want it to be a pity thing because of something that I deserved whenever I was 17, if that makes sense. But I do appreciate all the nice people that were saying stuff like that. It was just really funny to read, and I even told Kate, if you're watching, I love you, but she commented on Tristan's video and just said justice for Amy. I was like, whoa, 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 that's a strong word. Like, we do not need to be throwing that around. I don't know, for me, honestly, I think I would just love to hear what actually happened from the people that were in charge of the contest, from, I don't even know if it's Miley herself. This was another question I had, was Miley responsible? I don't think she was responsible. I think she was the face of something that they had this great idea for. I mean, if you remember, this was the same time that Justin Bieber is getting discovered on YouTube by Usher and Scooter Braun and all of this stuff. So this was just starting people getting discovered on YouTube. So I think it was a really good idea at the time that didn't get executed well and just ended poorly. I don't think that was Miley's fault. I honestly could not even potentially blame whoever was in charge of Mileyworld for it, or the management or whatever. I don't think they intentionally ran this contest promoting the winner gets a record deal, planning to not give the winner a record deal. I just think the resources probably ran dry or something of that capacity. It's very crazy to think about. It's very crazy to look back on. Like I've said, it's really wild to think about how different my life would be. But I love my husband, and I know I would not have met him if I had moved out to LA and ventured out there and done everything that I had aspired to do and to be. I definitely just see the blessings in the chaos of this crazy story that actually happened. So, yeah. I think that's it. If you have any more questions, I can definitely answer them. I don't think, like I said, I want to make another video on this subject and dwell on it and keep talking about it. I feel as though this was a good time for me to finally talk about it and to finally address it, and even for the people that voted for me in the contest that I never said a word to. There were a couple of people I sent it to, and one of them was like, I had no idea that this happened. And most people didn't. I just did not talk about it, and I carried so much shame and so much blame, and anytime I would go to the orthodontist, the dentist, I mean, my family, everybody was just so wrapped up in this contest, and after winning, it was crazy. There's things, looking back, even just my family, because I've talked about how nobody in my family knew that I sang. So my mom is one of 11 kids. Huge extended family. I have 25 first cousins. None of them knew that I sang. So we did not even tell them about the contest until I was in the top 20. I mean, we really did not think this was something that I was going to win. It was just this thing that I entered, and it was crazy that I even made it to the top 20, and that was when we started telling family. It was all just very wild and insane. Tristan, he had so many questions that I had never thought of, and I can laugh now because I'm like, wow, we probably should have questioned that. But even his thinking is, they never gave a contract after I won. They never sent anything to sign, or it's just they literally were making it up as they went. And I think if it wasn't the most exciting thing for us at the time, we probably would have questioned more. And maybe that would have even helped them to try to figure out a plan. I just don't know if there ever was a plan, and it was just something that you're in a meeting and you say, oh, this would be a great idea. Let's open a contest and someone can win a record deal. Like, yeah, that's a great idea. But then what if that's all that they did? They just had this grand idea and then didn't have potential plans for following through. I don't know. I still don't have that side of the story. I did hear Miley talk about Mileyworld on Joe Rogan recently, and she said that her grandma was the one that ran Mileyworld, so maybe her grandma is actually the one to blame. I'm just kidding. Whoever it was that was behind it, I mean, who knows how old they are now, you know? It's just a crazy thing. So yeah, this is the long-awaited 10 years in the making of all of these questions that I have not answered. I hope that this has even given you closure. Some of the people that voted for me during that time and were there during that time. I'm sorry I never talked about it. I just didn't know how. I have talked about that so much that I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know what I was allowed to talk about. I was so embarrassed. I was just carrying this heavy blame, thinking it was my fault. And now, obviously, I'm looking back and thinking this was not my fault. This was not 17-year-old Amy's fault. This was something that was unfortunately done to me, but I don't think it was intentional. And I don't carry any resentment or, yeah, life goes on. It's crazy, but it did. So that's all. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you watched to the end, the cat has joined the party. I did just want to say, because I don't know if I did, I think with some of the people that were commenting how foolish it was for me to put my life on the line and all this stuff, which I don't think I put my life on the line to say, but there was just not even this possibility that we thought it wasn't going to happen. They were telling us it was going to happen, and after 2 years of being in the contest, or a year and a half, however long it was, you just not in a billion years think that it's not going to happen and that they're not going to follow through with their plans or the agreement. You know, American Idol, The Voice, all that stuff, it's like whenever the winner gets to the end and wins, you expect something to happen. There's nothing in you that thinks, okay, well, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just was thinking about that. I don't want to say I don't know how people aren't thinking about that, but now, of course, looking back, to call it a scam contest or this shady contest, yeah, it can be called that, but in the midst of it, you just aren't thinking that people are going to do that, you know? That's all. Thank you for watching. See you soon.